If you're a fan of horror like I am, then I guess you're kind of familiar with that. Reddit is a whole plethora of horror crap and stuff ranging from the real things to the fake things to all sorts of made up things to really interesting things altogether. And I said, you know what? This channel was primarily kind of focused on ChatGPT horror stories, but I said, you know what? Let's give Reddit a shot. Let's just search up horror stories and see what comes out of it. Literally just made a Reddit account right now, and I just searched up horror stories on Reddit and came across this thread here. Reddit, what's your most disturbing, scary, or creepy real stories? Now, of course, serious, because we're all about that serious, aren't we? Let's just go through it. See what we have. Seems like it's, holy shit, quite long actually. Didn't even realize it's this long, but we're going to go through a couple here and there. We might come across some disturbing things, so if you're not into disturbing things, scary things, and all that kind of fun jazz, then you know what? I'm sorry for your loss, but let's get into it. See what we have. Might be a fun, interesting journey to go through together, and hopefully we get spooked out together, you know? A few years ago, I was walking through the woods off the beaten track a bit, and I smelled this really overpowering sweet smell. Being nosy, I pulled back the undergrowth to have a look and found a dead body. The guy was clearly there for a while and wasn't looking great, all swollen and green and black with various running bits. The local wildlife had also been dining well for a few days. I called the police, who told me to wait with the body until they had arrived. Not creepy, not creepy at all. Just, hey, yeah, we'll just wait for the body. Wait with the body, wait until we arrive. Being in the middle of nowhere, it took a while for them to arrive, and it got dark, and I just sat there in the dark all alone with him for quite a while. It turned out he had been committing, can't even read. It turned out he had committed suicide. For a long time afterwards, I had dreams about him, and he would talk to me, and not nice things at all. Mainly about how he was angry I had disturbed his resting place and wanted me to kill myself. Probably just my imagination, but all pretty disturbing all the way. He still turns up in my dreams from time to time, and no doubt will be tonight after typing this. Yeah, nothing creepy at all. I mean, you just find a suicide body and it just haunts you for the rest of your days. That would be quite interesting, though. Not interesting, actually. That's kind of a bad word here, but that'd be quite a situation to come across. Definitely sad, so. Holy shit, smelled like sweet. Yeah, no, I wouldn't imagine a sweet smell. Every time I imagine a rotting body, all I imagine is, I don't know, you know that smell of like someone takes a crap somewhere and then it just rots and turns into like this really potent smell of crap. That's kind of it's kind of what I imagine this to smell like, so definitely not sweet. I used to work in murder cleanup. The thing that gets you is the smell. It's not that bad. It's just that it's not as revolting as you would expect. That makes it worse. That stickly, sweet aroma of death. Oh, so apparently it does smell sweet, which is quite strange. I honestly did not imagine. I would have never guessed that. Okay. Let's see what we have here. About 2 years ago, I was driving home from a family reunion pretty late at night, and the drive was about 2 hours long. I didn't stay the night because I had to be back for work the following day. Most of the drive was on the roads with dense bushes and trees on either side. The real creepy ones you see a lot in movies. Anyways, I'd been driving for about 45 minutes and I was starting to get really tired. You know how sometimes you just suddenly become really tired out of nowhere? Yeah, well, that happened to me. I knew I wasn't going to last, but I didn't come across any place I felt like I could park safely to take a quick nap. After it came clear to me I wasn't going to find a place to pull up, and my tiredness wasn't going away anytime soon, I did something very questionable. I pulled over to the side of the road onto the grass behind some bushes to try to hide my car from anybody else who was going to come past me. The roads weren't empty. I came across another car every few minutes or so. I made a mental note that the time was about 11:22 when I fell asleep. Okay, well, I do recommend you definitely pull over and take a nap, especially if you're starting to do days off. Sometime later, I was awoken by a scratching sound. I looked at the clock, 11:50. The sound stopped after a few seconds, and because I was still extremely tired, I didn't bother looking around and simply went back to sleep. I was later woken by the same sound, and it was now 12:40. This time, it really freaked me out because the sound didn't stop. The thought ran across my mind that it was just another animal inspecting the car. But why would it return almost an hour after the previous attempt? I looked at my rear view mirror and just managed to catch a glimpse of something running away from the forest, running away into the forest. Now, at the time, I thought it was a damn hook killer. You know, the ones that scratched a couple of cars and that slaughtered the guy when he got out to investigate. Yeah, screw that, I thought to myself, so I got the hell out of there. There was a bend no more than 100 yards up the road, and as I came across it, there was a freaking car parked out. Oh, this is getting creepy. There was a car parked off the side of the road with the driver's side opened. I slowed down just to look and see if anyone was inside. There wasn't. Then I looked in my rearview mirror. I didn't see anything, and all of a sudden, this guy comes sprinting up around the corner. He starts screaming at me, shouting stuff like, "Hey, get the fuck out of the car." Now, I noped the hell out of there and sped off. I never saw the guy again. Moral of the story is, don't fucking sleep on the side of the deserted road. True? Oh, that'd be one hell of a moment. First of all, oh man, for me to want to pull over and just take a nap on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, hidden in bushes, freaky as all hell right there. But I mean, if you gotta sleep, you gotta sleep. Definitely don't push yourself on the road, especially driving in the middle of the night. You never know what'll happen, right? Your reaction time is probably cut in half or even more or less. So good on you there, but yeah, good on you for getting the hell out of there as soon as possible. What was this? By deleted? Crazy. Wonder why it's deleted. Was he found? I just posted a story of my boyfriend sleeping on the side of the highway for the same reason. Too tired to safely drive. Yeah, good on you guys. He woke up to 20 people banging on his windows and yelling at him to wake up and leave. Then he woke up. He was dreaming it, but he always wondered if someone was trying to get him to wake up for some reason. Oh, that's interesting. Putting some Red Bulls and a gun in my glove department. Yeah, you never know. Never know. What we got here? Ari, you serious? Ari, you serious? I just realized these are old. This is 10 years ago. Interesting. Let's see what horror was back in the day. A few summers ago, I went for a bike ride around midnight with my friend. We went our separate ways at the end of the evening, and I had about 2 blocks to ride back by myself. Because of construction, I had to ride on the sidewalk by the streets. But the streets were dead. But it wasn't a problem until right when I was about to turn left onto my street. There was a man walking by himself, maybe 40s, a little scuffy, but not homeless. The sidewalk was narrow, and I didn't want to freak him out, so I got about 6 feet behind him, and I said, "Hey, behind you." And he turned around and gave me this super angry look. That happened to me a few times too, back when I would bike on the sidewalk. People would always be so pissed off when you bike beside them. I turned down the street, and he started to follow me, literally screaming about how I was a fucking cunt, and he was going to kill me and all of that. I live right off the corner, and I didn't want him to figure out where I lived, so I decided to do another loop around the block. This was not the scary part. Well, yeah, good on you for not going back home. Like, I would probably do the same as you. The scary part is when I looped back around and I looked down the street and I saw him standing on my fucking front stoop, staring out the street like a motherfucker knew. Like, he knew I lived there. He saw me ride by again, and he didn't say anything. I ended up going back to my friends, but my bike got stolen from the alleyway by the house 2 days later. Oh, that's so unfortunate. So the guy in question was definitely not actually homeless. We have a large population of mentally ill in that community, and unfortunately, so if I didn't think the sideway was too narrow to pass, otherwise I wouldn't have disturbed him. Half the scary part was that he looked pretty much completely normal for my area. That being said, I ended up texting my mom, and she made the decision not to notify law enforcement until my bike was stolen. Wow. Moral of the story here is don't park your bike in an alleyway. I'm assuming you hopefully locked it up, but if you didn't, then ouch. I have a friend who lives in a super sketchy neighborhood, and he was riding the bike at night back to his house. On the other side of the street was a strange man, and the man turned around and started charging towards my friend with a knife in his hand, screaming, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." Friend narrowly dodged the crazy murderous man, thankfully. He never goes out riding his bike at night anymore. Good point. Now the funny thing is, or I guess the scary thing now is, after reading all of these stories, is I do walk. I go for walks around my neighborhood almost every single day. And so it gets me to wonder, like, what if someone just randomly comes up to me with a knife and points it at me, or just starts charging at me or whatever? Like, I mean, you're not on a bike, so you can't just quickly evade the person. Kind of got to be quick on your feet there, but I don't know. Something to think about. I know not too long ago, about a year or so, in my neighborhood, some person was walking his dog in the middle of the night, and some random person ended up following him and just stabbing him and then running off. So it's not fake. Like, this stuff actually happens, which is the scary thing. It's a bit of a messed up world if you really think about it, but all the more it's a bit of an interesting world too. What do we got here? Jubis loves Marika. I posted this a couple of days ago on another thread. This isn't very interesting, but I woke up with blood gushing from my neck when I was younger, and I didn't feel anything, but my face felt wet. So I went down to my parents' room, and they freaked the hell out. Till this day, we still have no clue what cut my face, but I needed 8 stitches next to my eye. We checked the sheets, the pillowcases, edges, the bed, etc., but there was nothing there that could have caused the cut. Okay, that is weird. I have honestly no idea what could cause that. You know, many times when I'm doing literally nothing, a random cut appears on my hand, but your face requiring stitches? That's pretty weird. I have a medical thing where my capillaries occasionally poke through the skin and just bleed, normally around the face. This could be the same thing. This only happened to me like 3 times in my life, so it's not that crazy. This sounds absurd. Hell yeah, sounds absurd. This was the one time when I was a younging. I didn't need stitches. Yeah, that's the weird thing, needing stitches. I can't imagine what could have caused that. Don't be silly. It was obviously the dead girl who was in your closet and accidentally scratched your face. Yeah, that happens sometimes. I'm not too surprised there. Ooh. Narcotico cat. What does this guy have to say here? My dad has a story he likes to tell. It's incredibly creepy. Oh, we do like creepy around here. It was 1962. I wasn't alive then, so let's see what happened back then. And my dad and his father were on my grandfather's milkman route, driving between a forest and a deep lake. It used to be a quarry. The lake was about 300 feet deep. I suppose he was driving, and off the trail came a man running. He was naked, and the top half of him was on fire. On fire. He was running from the forest and heading for the lake. He headed for sort of a cliff or a rock or something and dove off. When my grandfather slammed on the brakes, he got out of the truck and ran over to help the man. The man, on fire, dove off the cliff, hit his head on some other rock, and fell into the lake. It was an immediate deep drop into the water, and the man fell straight through. My grandfather had taken off his shirt now and swam after the man. My grandfather came up 30 seconds later and got out of the water. He tells my father that he tells his father what he had looked like and how he saw him go under. He describes it to my father as this. As I saw that man go under, I saw he had a piano wire around his neck. My father told me my grandfather was disturbed for a couple of months, but still never really got over it. Nobody was reported missing that week. Not even within the state, which was surprising. So I don't really get what happened here. Did he find the body? Yes, here we go. Did he find the body? The lake used to be quarry. It was 300 plus feet deep. We know that. Nobody thought to go looking for it down there. After that, it was a long time. Quite eerie. I mean, if they saw the guy die there, then why did they not look there for the body? I mean, if it's 300 feet deep, that's actually quite deep. So I'm not quite sure how far it would have sunk there or how quick it would have sank, but The weird part here is having the piano wire around your neck, and then how the hell did he catch fire? Was it his imagination? Was he seeing things? Was it legitimate? Honestly, I don't know. That's weird though, that's creepy. I can't imagine going through something like this. The same thing happened to my sister at a young age. It wasn't so bad as to need 8 stitches, but the cut... Oh, this is the, it's probably the response to, yeah, the blood piece. I'm not quite sure how Reddit works, but I'm guessing it comes with these threads here. What happened here? Someone with a young sister, it wasn't as bad as to need 8 stitches, but the cut covered the entirety of her face. It ran diagonally across her nose. However, she also had 2 black eyes and bruises across the rest of her face. She felt no pain at all, but still had a feeling in her face. When she came downstairs and my parents asked what had happened, she hadn't had an answer, because she didn't even notice it yet. There was no trace of any source, and it never happened again. She was untouched everywhere else. It seemed quite odd, and given the fact that I knew it was bound to have happened to someone else, the fact that something so similar occurred to you is extremely peculiar. It is extremely peculiar. Random facial trauma with no sign of causation, and no pain, yet not numb. Mom sneaks into your room, head bangs the shit out of you with the ring, and then darts back into her room. Oh, sweetie, what happened? Could be. What else do we got here? What else do we got? Honestly, some pretty interesting, very interesting stories here. I like it. What do we got? I had awesome parents who let me sleep in the living room on weekend nights when I was very young because my sister was a very light sleeper and I could stay up until dawn if I sleep downstairs. But of course, I always ended up sleeping on the couch because Nick at night made me tired. No idea what Nick at night is, but we'll roll with it. So one night, I wake up to this prickly feeling, like an instinct. Just bolted into the sitting position and stared out the front window. We lived in rural Georgia, so you can imagine the magnitude of trees around me. In perfect light cast from the moon, I see a silhouette of someone in the fucking tree. The family dog dashed into the window and snarled into the glass. Terrified, I run into my parents' room and try to explain to my parents that there's a strange person outside. Dad grabs something defensive and darts outside with the dogs to beat the wax off the hot head. I trembled in Mom's arms until Dad comes home and says there was nobody there and to go back to bed. I decided to sleep in my regular bedroom that night. I fill in my sister as to what had happened. Dad is making regular sounds in the house with a cup of coffee. We're all still, and I finally think I can sleep. Nope. I notice the man outside my window. From what I can see in the moonlight, he gives me a shush signal and runs away. Just turns around, straight line away. I swear I couldn't stop crying. Huh. That's interesting. I feel like something similar like that happened to me actually back when I was a child. Well, actually, I still am a child, but more of a child, I guess. I think, I don't know, it might have been my imagination back in the day. I remember I was actually sleeping and I was facing the window when I was sleeping, and there was actually a very large tree at the time in front of my window back then. I might have been maybe 8, 9, 10 around there, and it might have been a nightmare. I just recall seeing a ladder. The ladder plop itself up into the window, and then someone was climbing the ladder and just staring right into my window. And you have this feeling like you can't scream, you can't move, you can't really do anything. Your heart's racing, you're sitting there, you're lying there, and just watching this man stare at you from your window. And it's the most powerless feeling I can recall I ever had back in the day. And to this day, honestly, I can't say for certain whether or not that was a dream or not. I don't even remember if I actually got up and went to my parents, or if I just lied there and dozed off into slumber again. But it's a memory I vaguely remember. I just remember it happening, but like I said, I just don't know whether or not it was real, whether or not it was a dream, an illusion, whether I was tripping, who knows. Stuff went down though. You just reminded me of a strange thing that happened to me when I was little. My brother and I were both 7 years old. He was maybe 4 and I was 16, or sorry, I was 6. We were playing outside in the snow when a strange white car pulled into our long driveway. This was uncommon since our driveway was hidden. The window rolls down and a man with short hair and goatee pulls up a camera and takes our picture. Then he rolls up the window and drives away. Never had any closure of what the hell happened there. but it freaked my mom out so badly. I don't blame her. If honestly someone just randomly opened their window and took a picture of me, or if I had kids, they took a picture of my kids, and my kids told me this, I'd be pretty freaked out myself. What do people have to say about that? It's actually very creepy. You should go to Walmart and look at the frames for pictures. I bet you guys are now a placeholder photo. What a wholesome family those pictures are, hey? This happened to me before, walking home late at night, car pulls up, takes my picture, and drives away. Yeah, that's actually super messed up. Dude had a baseball game, was filming me. Very weird. Very strange. Okay. What else do we have here? So far, very interesting stories. Let's see if we have one more here. Oh, this is a long one right here. Okay, let's end it off with this one here. Okay. Coyote laughter. Let's see what you got. Let me put my glasses back on. This is a long one. I was delivering a hot tub to this contractor slash realtor in my fancy gated community near Branson. When I arrived, the construction workers were in charge of telling me when the thing was supposed to go, or how the thing was supposed to go. It was going on the 4th floor balcony, but because of the way the house was built, the 4th floor was ground floor. The other 3 floors were on the side of a hill, but the driveway was even with the 1st floor entrance. That makes sense, somewhat. So, a lot of the construction going on, but to get the hot tub onto the balcony, I had to make a ramp. Take it from the drive, down to the yard, up a ramp on the porch, through the living room door, across the living room, onto the back patio doors, onto the deck. Problem with this was the deck was unfinished. A huge section of the deck was missing. They had literally installed only enough decking so that I could go from the patio doors to the far corner of the deck where the hot tub should be sitting. There was no railing. The hot tub weighed 900 pounds and it was a 4-story drop if I fell. Okay, sus. The construction workers volunteered to help me. We got it out on the deck, crossed the narrow bridge of installed decking to the corner, and I was about to lay it down. You move these on a dolly while the hot tub is on its edge for clarification. Laying it down isn't that hard. You tilt it back, bring it down to your lap, grab the strap, securing it on the dolly, and lower it to the deck. It's very controlled, and I've done it thousands of times. However, the deck wasn't finished, so the contractor wanted to leave it on the edge. It's a lot harder to take it off when it's standing up, because the dolly is under a 900-pound tub. But I've done it before, so it shouldn't be a problem. I told them that we would have to put the blocks under one side of the dolly, tilt the tub, and pop the straps to release the dolly, so it should be removed from the area. Then you tilt the hot tub back, remove the blocks, then set the hot tub down on the deck. Problem, the deck wasn't wide enough for me to allow this to do it safely. I popped the strap on the hot tub, put the blocks under, and I tilted the hot tub, but that put me with my feet 4 inches from the edge of the deck with nothing but 4 stories of air behind me. We were able to free the dolly on one side, but not the other. The hot tub had to be leaned over further towards me. I tell everybody to freeze, and they do. I didn't want anyone messing with it because I had to shift my feet back 5 inches so my heels were off the deck. I'm freaking out, but this is all going smooth. Oh, is it? I have a construction worker on each side of me helping support the tub. 3 construction workers freeing the dolly, and 1 useless worker playing with the strap with it, or that it was going to secure the tub to the house so that the wind doesn't blow the tub over. We are inches from having the dolly freed when one of the construction workers freeing the dolly gets impatient and kicks the corner of the tub to dislodge it from the dolly. It works for him, but unfortunately for me, it didn't have my feet set yet. I shout that I'm falling. The 2 guys beside me take the weight of the tub, but no one can get to me. My arms are windmilling. I'm bent almost backwards. Oh wow. Trying my damnedest to stay on the deck. I can see the boulders down below of the corner of my eye. I'm falling. There isn't anything I can do about it. I feel myself go. I'm falling. My heels slip out from under me and no one can reach me. But then suddenly I'm flying forward. Something is under the small of my back and is slamming me into the bottom of the tub. The dolly is removed and the tub stood up with me hugging it before I find out what saved me. The useless guy playing with the strap had already secured one end to the house. When I fell, the strap was already behind me, hanging off the deck. The construction worker pulled it tight with all of his might, arresting my fall. It wasn't there for that purpose, but he saved my life that day. I would have been dead if not for him. I thanked him by sending him and his wife and kids to Breckenridge, Colorado for Christmas. It was actually a vacation I'd saved for and was about to surprise my wife and daughter with it. But I felt he deserved it more. Plus, my wife and daughter didn't know anything about it, so yeah, one of the scariest moments of my life. Fell off a 4th floor deck, but construction workers saved me at the last moment, so I rewarded him with a vacation. Not much of a horror story I was expecting there. Bit of a confusing read. Had no idea what the hell was going on. Couldn't quite imagine the whole process of putting a hot tub onto a deck, but I mean, that was something. You know what? Let's leave it there for now. Interesting reads, really cool reads. I kind of want to go back into this, maybe read some more disturbing side of Reddit, more horror story sides of Reddit, and see if we can find anything. It's always fun reading these because you kind of get some ideas. Once again, I said I'm a bit of a horror game developer, but I made a lot of games, and right now I'm a bit struggling with some story endeavors, some scenery endeavors. So I figured, like I said before, let's hop into Reddit, see what people have here. I literally just made an account and it was interesting. So I hope you liked this series. It might be a long one, might make a few more here and there, post it on YouTube, and we can all kind of walk through YouTube together, or not YouTube, we can all walk through Reddit together. Maybe in areas outside of the Reddit, maybe in the deep web eventually here, and just journey along with it together. So hope you enjoyed that. It was interesting. Apologies for my crappy reading. We're getting there. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. See you later.